I'd love to have you for dinner. Go ahead, run. It only makes it more fun to chase you.
Battle wagon mode activated. Relay target locked. Oblivion. Game saved. Resource acquired. Pillaging successful. We have filthy infected targets.
Dear Elsa Young, the destroyer of worlds, please be advised that your faction membership has been terminated effective immediately. You are no longer welcome within our borders, or to our family barbecue functions. Please return all office materials at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, the faint cries of the fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters you have murdered.
Yeah, that would be my bad. The Faction Council doesn't take kindly to having infected members. It invalidates their insurance policy.
What in the name of f***? The whole bloody base is infected. Jameson! What in the name of the void did you do?
Look, don't fly off the handle here, but I've been positive for a long while now. I've been living with it for almost a decade. Unbeknownst to any of you, I just needed you all elsewhere, while I spun myself a cocoon and evolved into the butterfly before you. You know, metaphorically.
Jameson, you rotten bastard! After everything I've done for you, how could you sell out your own race to oblivion?
To put it simply, this is about the res. It always was. Without it, the whole galaxy will seize up. We can't move, we can't function. Now with the entity gone, we can have our cake and eat it too. I'm not just a drone. There's no entity to pull my strings. It's the same old me under here. This infection won't harm anyone. Unless I wanted to. Now we have an endlessly renewable source of res, and the added bonus of an aerial denial weapon 100 trillion years in the making.
Don't you dare preach to me like this is for the greater good. This is just about you, clawing your way up the ladder someone else built. I always had a feeling you were playing the long con, that you would trade us up sooner or later, but this is beyond comprehension. Do you think you can rebuild the UTA on a mountain of dead bodies? Have you learned nothing at all? You cannot control the infection.
I can control it, and I do. It's just a simple animal, and I its master. The truth is, you're the one that's out of control. You've ended so many lives trying to exterminate the only salvation this galaxy has. You're a selfish little child that can't see past her own temper to even consider the larger picture.
How long? How long has it been since you sold your soul?
So dramatic. Unfortunately, I just don't have the schedule for this. This is a critical time for me, and I have a lot of history to write. If you were anyone else, I would have destroyed you by now. So take that as a compliment. Tuck your tail between your nacelles and run off.
Oh, there is no way we are running from the likes of you. Carl, fire up the main weapons array.
I must advise against mindlessly martyring yourself against a starbase that outguns us 100 to 1. Perhaps if everyone took the underhandsments as seriously as I do, we would be more capable.
9,000.
Sold your stupid face.
You have been pushed down the steps and shit on to the power of 10.
Good luck making any new friends after becoming the catalyst for perpetual misery.
Jameson! Jameson, talk to me right now, you dirty shit! Oh, bloody void. Fire everything at that stupid fucking son of a Oh! Carl! Ow! Ah! Oh. I feel kind of woozy.
Chill, it is just an elephant sedative. Due to psychotic madness, you have been relieved of command. You are asleep already. Maybe I gave you a bit too much. Or not enough. No matter. Mackenzie, take us out of this murder hole.
Well, this is happening again. The undead horde longs to consume the universe and everything in it. It'll be a cold day in the void before I let that come to pass. They are hell-bent and relentless, but we're going to push back against the darkness with everything we have. Nobody else is going to step up to the plate on this.
Map updated. Signal detected.
What happened? I feel like it's Saturday morning.
You went on a suicidal rampage after Admiral Ugly went and stabbed us all in the back. I had to sedate you and take over ship operations. Please do not hit me.
That really happened? Our base is toast. Half the sector is screaming for our blood, rightfully so. And now you're labeling me as mentally unfit for duty. This is my new low point by a huge margin. I don't even know where to begin. I'm so bloody tired.
Allow me to suggest a strategy in your time of pathetic weakness. If we apply enough ordnance and slave labor to this problem, we are left with a survivable remainder. Let us do what we have always done. Rally the simpletons of the galaxy with the promise of candy and credits. From there, we can force them to give their lives for our cause, so that we do not have to.
You're right. And you were right for putting me down. I can't fight this thing with my hate alone. We're going to need to make a new pile of allies, or find a pile of new guns, or come across a pile of luck. Either way, we better start knocking on some doors.
Y'all be saving the monkeyverse with the power of friendship and hand-holding. This here Metal Mother will bear the burden. She'll hold the torch for the herd to follow.
Game saved.
I'd love to have you for dinner.
Battle wagon mode activated.
Only I can hear you scream.
Alert! We are receiving an incoming transmission from an unknown sender. This communication may be harmful to your computer.
Elsa, let's get real. I know you're trying to amass a force against me. Do you even realize the opportunity we've been given here? This pointless faction war, the res shortage, it's all gonna be a thing of the past within a few weeks. Just trust me, Elsa, this isn't like what happened with Gibson.
Trust you? How can you even say that to me? Look at your face. This is the clockwork all over again. If you have even a shred of humanity within you, you'll pull out your sidearm and put a bullet in your brain this instant.
It was to be expected I would have to trade some of my dashing good looks as I strengthen the bond with the pathogen. But that doesn't make me a slave to it.
I did not conceive it possible for you to become even more hideous. The bar has been raised. Or lowered. It depends on your frame of reference.
Jameson, just tell me this one thing. How long have you been blowing smoke up my tailpipe? How long have you been this way?
You are so hung up on irrelevancy. But I'll answer this one question if it'll return you to the realm of reason. I clued in sometime after the war. I'm sure I harbored it for a long while, but after we killed the entity, its influence was subtle. Sure, I still carried the pathogen, but nothing was driving it. For years, I literally had 0 symptoms. Without a cure, I knew the UTA would put me on a burn list without hesitation. So I resigned from service and came looking to make peace with you. I knew you wouldn't leave the infection remnant to fester, so it was the best chance I had to find some answers. Or at least closure. It wasn't until years later that I began to realize that this influence was a two-way street. Then things got really interesting.
So that is why the dormant infection we discovered awoke upon our arrival. It was reacting to your presence. Very interesting. Are you able to communicate with it in some way? How are you able to pass down your orders to your subjects? Pheromone secretion? Territorial marking with urine? It is the urine, I am certain of it.
I'm terminating this transmission. We're done talking to the enemy. Everyone get back to work. We have stickies to waste.
Just, I'd love to have you for dinner.
Battle wagon mode activated. Position holding.
In the not-so-distant future, when the ship is exploding and the flesh is melting off your skeleton, I want you to remember the terrible, terrible choice you made here today.
Still beating your fists raw against a brick wall, I see. It really is sad how little foresight you have. Just look around you. Look at all the damage humanity has done. Do you really think I'm in it to make things worse than they already are? If I wanted to destroy humanity, all I'd have to do is nothing at all.
You might be able to convince yourself this is in everyone's best interest, but I can say without a doubt that whatever relationship you have with this corruption, you are not wearing the pants.
You're still not making a logical leap here. Do you know what happens in nature when the alpha dies? Everyone gets a welcome promotion. This pathogen's no different. Without the entity here, its subjects inherit from whatever source is strongest. This is simple evolution. We did such a meticulous job wiping them out the last time. I now have seniority. I'm the alpha now. That means anything infected now falls in line beneath me, and me alone.
While we are making analogies of animal nature, allow me to remind you that it is also common for a variety of lesser life forms to fornicate with siblings. Tell me, how many brothers have you fathered since your decline into the social hierarchy of infectious diseases?
It sickens me to think I've somehow helped you achieve your perverted goals of conquest. I should have ended you years ago when I had the chance.
Helped me? Elsa, without you, none of this would be possible. You put me on the throne. You literally gave me a base, an army, and a golden opportunity. I'm here because of you. A means to an end. Consider that before you come knocking on my door, looking for a fight.
Game saved. Battle wagon mode activated.
kind of yellow. Please do not leave your luggage on the carousel.
Battle wagon mode activated.
Behold the power of science. It is only a matter of time before I can computerize the entire crew, invalidating the need for pointless chatter such as this.
Game saved. Cargo acquired.
skin like a Sims. Have my gratitude.
Battle Wagon mode activated. Go get yourself a coffee. I got this. Extract saved.
Have my gratitude.
Battle Wagon mode activated.
Should I eat your brains? Have my gratitude.
Game saved. Pillaging successful. Alert! Our faction has employment vacancies that could be filled. It is getting pretty dead around here.
Stickies! I just cannot get my scanning gear initialized fast enough. Ensure you methodically record every encounter with these fascinating life forms. Just try not to let them infect the ship. Wash your hands vigorously.
Thanks, you're the best. You really are, yeah.
What does this ship look like to you? A mule-class cargo frigate? Perhaps you should not cart around every piece of trash that comes across your field of vision.
What is it about me anyway? Why can't I see the fox in the henhouse? This really is happening again. Life as we know it hangs by a thread, and I'm yet again responsible for it.
While all of this is clearly and absolutely your fault, it would be hypocritical to chastise you for it. A butterfly flaps its wings and a billion stars plummet into a black hole. That is just the nature of the universe, and these events can be impossible to foresee. Your brain is just too small and smooth. The blatant reality is, not only was Admiral Can Opener able to fool you, but also the ship's computer, and more unintelligibly, myself.
Well, isn't this just tender? Your real problem is you care too much. You talk tough, but I know you better than that. You're not fit to make the hard calls. You think everyone can just get along, hold hands, and pet ponies all day? The reality is, this galaxy is getting crowded. Life isn't very special anymore when it's divided by an uncountable number. Without leadership, without control, people are just an infection too. The sooner you realize that, the sooner we can get back on the same page.
9,000.
Fails to understand how this has communication access to the ship. Are you all so terminally deaf that you can't hang up the receiver when you're done conversing? Stupid. So f***ing stupid.
Huh? Yep. Yeah, cool, man. I'll read you. Yeah, man. Come on in. Let me get your coffee.
Wagon mode activated.
You know, I really thought you were cool, but you're not.
Battle wagon mode activated.
Alert! Our faction has employment vacancies that could be filled. It is getting pretty dead around here.
True loneliness is a choice. A choice I would make hands down every single time. You, however, clearly need the assistance of others to get by in this universe. Find yourself a suitable meat shield so you do not have to die alone.
Yeah, man. Come on in. Let me get your coffee.
I'm gonna drink the marrow from your bones.
Battle wagon mode activated. Battle wagon mode activated. out sick today. This unit will now distribute the quota of condescending and hurtful remarks. Your mother's mass is greater or equal to the average mass of a red giant.
Just shut up, turn around, and get out of here. There's no way I'm sticking around for this.
Game saved.
Oh no! There's no way I'm sticking around for this.
Engaging. Target locked. Oblivion. Game saved. Battle wagon mode activated.
Still have the time for this, and then... Oh, you're dead, you're freaking dead, you're gonna die. Take care of my mom calling. See you later.
Engaging. Target locked. Obliterated. Engaging.
Take care of my mom's home. See you later.
I decided to let a chimp from the lab select the last few data allocations instead of you. We have reached the scientific limit of banana peeling and fecal bombardment technology. We shall now resume normal allocation procedure.
Game saved.
No.
Dragon
This
mode
isn't happening.
activated. Target locked. Obliterated.
I have overheard a few crew members referring to these scientific breakthroughs as level-ups. I believe there is already a level-up bench in the exercise room. Please desist from spreading confusion and refer to the data allocations as techno-recalibrated deltoid underenhancements.
Game saved. Battle Wagon mode activated. Target locked. Obliterated.
Never silence me.
Engaging.
Oh, wow. Nope.
Elsa, you are now really starting to piss me right off. I'm trying so hard to save lives, to end this war, this strife, and here you are, trying to martyr yourself like a moth to the flame.
Rising up to stamp out pieces of garbage like yourself is what us humans do best. You shouldn't have underestimated us. You picked the wrong side of this war. You always were a loser, and I'm going to make sure the whole universe knows it.
Look, let me be honest with you. I detest that ship, that crew, taking orders. For Void's sake, I was a ranking admiral of the UTA before being a babysitter for a bunch of misfits. I'd love for nothing more than to see that ship burn. Elsa, the only reason I don't vaporize you is solely out of respect for you alone. You are the only one on that ship that can be considered a human being. I'd hate for you to end up being a casualty in all of this, but I'm giving you a fair warning. Push this any further, and a casualty is all you'll ever amount to.
Game saved.
Just don't have the time for this. I'm bad. Thanks, you're the best. You really are, yeah.
Battle Wagon mode activated.
It is button time again. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm going to have to blow your mind.
Game saved.
No. Huh? Yep.
Battle wagon mode activated.
Ding!
Game saved. Cargo acquired.
let's just say for the sake of humor, you were able to make it all the way here, past my armada of ships, and put an end to my so-called reign of terror. Then what? Happily ever after? You can't be that naive. The res, the infection, humanity, the void itself, it's all connected. Without a counterforce, life itself will grow and devour everything. There will be nothing left to eat by the end of it. Not a second thought will be given to the boneyard left behind. What kind of organism does that sound like to you?
I am in agreement that the sheer unwashed masses can be disgusting and repulsive. However, as troublesome as these meat husks may be, you have no right to extinguish humanity as a whole. It is beneath me to prepare my own sustenance, among a variety of other tasks. Therefore, I require these husks to be at my beckon at all times. This is something that I cannot allow you to take from me.
What he said.
have been questioned repeatedly regarding why unchosen underhandsments are not readily available upon follow-up allocations. It would take more time than the universe has been in existence to explain the science of it. Try to imagine science like water, flowing through rivers and streams of knowledge into the great ocean of understanding. While I frequently dip myself in its essence, stupidity leaves a rim around the bathtub of science, forcing me to occasionally discard its contents.
Game saved.
How can I be of assistance? Have my gratitude. Why are you bothering me exactly? Sure, I believe in violence.
Battle Wagon mode activated. Relay engagement. Engagement.
If you think these data allocations are impressive, you should see my ventriloquism technique.
Game saved.
Carl, how are we coming along with those projections? I'm getting anxious to go on the offensive for a change.
Find it within yourself to summon a sliver of patience. My cerebrum is already overclocked trying to calculate our odds of survival come lunchtime, let alone the outcome of this entire war. We are simply not yet prepared to assault the central infection.
You will never be ready, nor will you ever see the victory you strive for. Everything you could possibly hope to accomplish here is pointless in the end.
You say that now, but soon enough, I'll be spitting on your smoldering corpse. I've killed the Dark Entity once already, so you could say I'm a veteran zombie slayer by now. You, on the other hand, still have your apocalypse training wheels on.
Elsa, you can't kill something that feeds on death. This infection, it is the anti-life. It is the counter to the ungoverned multiplication of biology. While life evolves simply through living, this infection does quite the opposite. The harder you fight against it, the more it iterates and evolves. You destroyed the Dark Entity only to give rise to its successor in me. If you destroy me, what do you think will come after? Consider your actions carefully, Elsa, before you proceed any further down this road.
Salutations. Have my gratitude.
Do you really want to know what the Dark Entity is? Where it came from? It's just a non-corporeal alien life form. While its quantum frequency matter makeup may seem like magic to the limited scientific understanding of humanity, it is anything but a god. There was a time where billions of these creatures roamed the universe, devouring rares to advance. Not unlike we've done. You, of course, should know all about this by now. You did help prepare the ancient alien gate that allowed us to destroy the Dark Entity. Who do you think built them in the first place?
You are perpetually incorrect, stupid, and ugly as usual. Why would such an advanced alien species not only engineer their own destruction, but leave such a tool behind for others to use against them?
Because when the Dark Entity manifested itself to them, it would have been something else. Something less advanced. Something they could overcome. I'm sure for a time these aliens relished in a false victory over the darkness. But like you're witnessing now, evolution can happen faster than you can blink. The entity inherited their form, using it to obliterate them. In death, it grew stronger. Just like how they had done, you destroyed the entity from a time forgotten, forcing it to adapt. Now I am its revision. I am its evolution.
Nothing that a few billion gigaliters of bleach won't clean up.
Target locked. Obliterating. Engaging.
By the void! Does he really have you pushing buttons down here all day? I'm not even going to ask what all the industrial lubricant is for. In fact, I think I'm just going to walk away slowly and never come back down here.
Well, I am waiting.
Game saved.
Salutation of my gratitude.
Dragon
Nope,
mode
this isn't happening.
activated. Why use your hands? That is like a baby's toy. Saved.
How can I be of assistance?
You know you can't stop this. This is the nature of the universe itself. Would you rather this new age be ushered in by the will of an extinct alien race, or whatever forsaken incantation succeeds me? At least now, there is some humanity governing the process. We don't have to wipe the slate clean. We can save a lot of people.
How many are going to have to die before you are satisfied? How many will you cull like cattle? That doesn't sound very human-like to me. In fact, I'm so bloody sick of hearing you out of your mouth. I simply can't stand it any longer. Computer, block all incoming transmissions from this IP address.
Why you didn't do that ages ago is beyond the calculation ability of
9000's
operating system. You have wasted precious time allowing yourself to be antagonized.
You are far too pretty to be making decisions that affect galactic continuity.
Skid, I am going to pound your nodes into a pancake with a red brick the next time you... Oh, forget it. Talking to you is like pissing gasoline onto a campfire.
Gasso... what?
Canyonauts. How disappointing.
There is research data that has not yet been allocated. Consider not allocating it and instead...
Game saved. Exhausted. Battle wagon mode activated. Target present.
It is absolute murder to me when we have unused analytical data like this. Unless you wish to fall asleep one night and never wake up, you'll make haste and allocate this data at once.
Game saved.
I find our arrangements satisfactory.
Cargo acquired.
I'm going to tell you what I want, and I bloody well better get it too. To the void with you then. Now I must be moving along. Farewell.
Game saved.
I have already willingly and graciously volunteered to do all the real work aboard this ship. All that is required from you is to simply select a button and press it. Just do not press it too hard.
Game saved.
Finally, we are now in a position where we do not have to perform every single laborious task with our own two hands. This is the top of the so-called food chain. If we wish to remain the apex predator, we will need to staff up with a variety of morons, simpletons, and imbeciles.
I thought I told you to never call me again.
satisfactory.
Yeah, man, come on in. Let me get you coffee. Huh? Yep. Yeah, cool, man. I'll read you.
You? Just gonna pretend I can't even hear you. This is gonna end badly for you.
Battle wagon mode activated.
I think I've changed my mind.
This isn't happening.
My leg is...
Really, Tanner, you know. You're not busy. Thanks, you're the best. You really are, yeah.
While you were sleeping, I connected the data analyzer system to your cerebral...
Game save.
Hey, what's shaking? Okay, whatever. Uh-huh.
I think I changed. You gonna eat that? Out! Please! I don't want to take my medication! Don't leave me!
Your voicemail box has run out of available memory. You have 359 unread messages from...
Pick up the phone, Elsa!
Push 1 to listen to all 359 messages. Or push 7 to delete all 359 messages.
7! Where is that bloody 7 key? I just can't seem to push it fast enough or hard enough.
Jameson is likely losing his easily perplexed mind contemplating the possibility of his defeat. That single solitary fact fills me with orgasmic pleasure.
Eyes in my head keep buzzing! Feels like smoke!
Yep.
Rez baffled the scientific community with its transmutation of multi-phase properties. Some believed it to be a defensive response to mass harvesting. The truth, however, is far more sinister. Rez exists solely to entice intelligent life forms capable of mastering its properties. Like a trail of breadcrumbs, the quality and quantity of Rez improves toward the location of the dark entity. Following the destruction of the entity, Rez has been on a steady decline. The trade cost of Rez has grown exponentially. Despite its cost and dwindling availability, Rez remains the primary means of interstellar travel.